I wish.
Fuck.
We were recording something silly, and we were talking about some silly stuff, and Hannah's like, "Did you record?" And I'm like, "No." And
We gotta reenact it. Say the dumb thing you said again.
I don't remember what I said.
You said at least it's better than being in hot pants. And I said, is it though?
And I said, me and my dumb mouth.
Pants. I got my hot pants on. Basically, that was the gist of it all.
So yeah, hey everybody, what's going on?
What up? What up?
We're a little bit late on the final installment of AniMAY.
I mean, as per our usual arrangement.
Okay. To be fair, the main reason why is because
you fucked up your foot.
Well, that, and I also had to do a week-long thing of catering work. So
That's true.
That's that. But anyway, we're finishing it up finally.
Woohoo!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the General Geekery podcast. This is, of course, the podcast where we love to geek out about all that we love to geek out about with no remorse.
No regrets.
With all of the enthusiasm in the world.
Indubitably.
While we're giggling like a bunch of idiots about stupid stuff that happened off mic. Again, I need to start recording almost immediately for these kinds of situations.
When I podcast with my mom, I always just start recording without even telling her.
I'm too nice to do that. I'm way
no,
too
you
nice
don't,
to do
dude.
that.
As soon as I sit down here, I assume that the mic is on, so you may as well just go with it.
We've been working each other all this time. I feel like I should know this by now, but regardless.
Yep. You should know I'm paranoid.
I'm paranoid. Oh,
I'm always assuming that I'm being recorded or watched or something, just like Ocean's 11.
Fair enough.
Someone's always watching.
Oh, man. Anyways, we are your hosts, as always. I am your resident coffee ninja by day, actor, gamer, streamer by night, Donald Kaczynski. Joining me, as always, she is our artiste extraordinaire and resident video game inept, Miss Hannah Kubiak.
Hello.
Anyway, as always, we're finishing up AniMAY, about a couple of days late. It's kind of AniJUNE right now, but that doesn't really have as much... It doesn't sound the same as AniMAY.
No, it doesn't.
AniJUNE! No, it's not the same.
No.
And as we promised at the end of last episode, and Hannah was very excited for this episode we are talking about the animated film Ghost in the Shell from 1995.
Yep.
Now,
These are my notes.
Is that a blank page, I see?
Yeah.
Okay, alright. Making sure.
Squint at it for a while.
Had to be sure. So, if you guys want to see our, or listen to our reactions to the film, you guys can check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/generalgeekery, link of which is in the description of this episode. And by pledging to our Patreon, you get exclusive access to exclusive content, including our audio commentaries on the films that we are going to be reacting to and talking about on the podcast from here on out.
Yeah,
so
such as they are. I don't know if I really had anything worthwhile to say in this one, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's kind of, we do make some funny jokes
I guess
during
so,
it.
yeah.
So
all I remember is just giggling every time I saw a robot nipple, but other than that.
Yeah, fair.
Just kind of what are you doing? Cover her up. Idiots.
Hold on, just maneuvering the mic a little bit. Oh, wait, never mind. Kefka was in front of the mic at one point,
He
so
would
sorry.
have been fine.
Yeah.
He can carry sound.
That he can.
Can't you,
boy?
cat? Can't you, cat? This is where you answer.
He never answers on command.
No.
So
he answers with a little bit of gentle prompting.
there we go.
If you touch him, he complains.
He's a lone cat. He prefers his solitude at times.
Does he?
Until he doesn't, and then he just cries and is like,
He
"Comfort me."
He enjoys using me as furniture, definitely.
Yeah, same. Anyway, on to Ghost in the Shell.
All right, let's do it.
So, we have talked about the Ghost in the Shell series previously on the podcast, specifically the standalone complex anime series from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
We've done some talks about that, and I've gone on record by saying that the Ghost in the Shell franchise is one of my favorite sci-fi science fiction universes of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I love the concepts and ideologies brought into the show, such as the concept of cyberbrains, individuality, and just everything about like what can be done in terms of like future human technology. And this all came forward in this film in 1995, which was the very first animated adaptation of the original manga source material. And just like how Standalone Complex is very different from the movie, if I'm not mistaken, the original movie is very different from the original manga. I think the manga is a little bit more comedic in nature, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a long while since I checked it out. But the movie from 1995 is highly considered as one of the most influential pieces of Japanese animation, especially in terms of Western audiences. Alongside other animated movies like Akira and Perfect Blue, and anime series such as Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon helped popularize Japanese anime to a Western audience.
Have I seen Perfect Blue?
We haven't seen Perfect Blue yet.
No.
That is, I was almost going to have us watch that instead of Ghost in the Shell, but since we were following more of a sci-fi theme this past month, because we were watching Steins Gate.
That's right, yeah. It's sci-fi.
Yeah, I figured we would keep it to that. I do want us to watch Perfect Blue in the future.
That is definitely on the list.
We if not soon, then I may save it for Spooktober, because it is a little bit of a psychological thriller kind of one.
Ooh, cool. Okay.
So the Ghost in the Shell.
Keep talking. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, go ahead. So while Hannah is going to grab something right quick, the original Ghost in the Shell from 1995. The story takes place in the year of 2029. Oh my goodness, it's 6 years away. Why do we not have cyberbrains yet? And follows, as always, the members of Section 9, including Major Motoko Kusanagi and our amazing sidekicks, Bato, Togusa, Ishikawa, and, of course, Chief Daisuke Aramaki, the head of Section 9. This particular movie follows the case of a very enhanced hacker known as the Puppet Master. And over the course of this investigation, we discovered that the Puppet Master is it's not exactly like an artificial intelligence, but it was a, let me just, it's kind of like an artificial being that's like created at, it's kind of it says it's not like an AI, but it kind of is to an extent from the way they were talking about it, but it's a sentient being that is trying to merge its consciousness with Motoko, who is having like a philosophical thing about her individuality, especially after becoming fully prosthetic.
Yep.
In joining Section 9, which we do see that process happening in a visually stunning and memorable opening credit sequence.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, I guess we should just go right ahead and just talk about it overall. Now, I first saw this film in a movie theater actually, right when I got out of college. So I wasn't able to check the movie out prior to that, just because I haven't had the time to. I never had the resources to be able to find the movie online or anything of that nature. So I got to see this film for the very first time in an actual movie theater. And it still ranks up there as like one of my favorite like cinema going experiences.
Cool.
And it did leave a very huge impact on me, especially as an adult. So I guess I should ask you, Hannah, since this was your first time watching it, any thoughts or initial reactions, especially considering, like me, you saw Standalone Complex before seeing the original film?
I'm going to admit I was very confused. I got lost partway through, and I was like, well, it's been a while since we watched it as well, so I was kind of Yeah, I was kind of confused, so I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about it, knowing what happened, basically.
So, in the terms of, in the process of investigating the, figuring out the identity of the puppet master, the team stumbles upon this android body that escaped a factory that produces cyber bodies known as Megatech. Yes, Megatech Body. And this particular company helps produces the cybernetic enhanced bodies that is used by members of Section 9, which has several of them concerned that their bodies will be hacked, which is why they have such an interest of like what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And as
is it cyber body or cyber brains?
Well, I mean, it's a cyber. There is like a empty cyber brain, but it's still like a cybernetic enhanced body.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh no, I meant the company. Did they just make cyber bodies, or do they make the brains as well?
They create like the shell, like all the prosthetics.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Because the shell and Ghost in the Shell basically represents the body, like the cybernetic body. And of course, the ghost represents like one's soul or cyber soul or whichever. Mm-hmm. And over the course of the investigation and figuring out what it is, another section of the government, Section 6, I believe, automatically interferes and is like, "Nope, you're handing that body over to us."
Oh yeah, that's right.
As it turns out, this body contains the puppet master himself, an artificially created being that claims to have its own sentience, seeking political asylum.
Yep.
Which is like...
That's hilarious.
Which on the one hand, it seems weird, but considering that this film clearly is taking place in an age where like the laws of like cybercrime and stuff like that are still in its like new infancy with like new developments of like cyber brains and like how all that is affecting the world around them. It kind of does make sense that it raises questions about like what about like artificial beings? Do they have the ability to be granted political asylum, something like that?
Yeah. And I would have to say, a good question.
And Kusanagi, the Major, is intrigued by this particular being, and her curiosity wants to dive into the shell, into the...
That's right, yeah.
To figure out what makes it tick. Like, it's her curiosity that is getting the better of her in this instance. Mm-hmm. And I'm just gonna go right ahead and say this. Since we watched Standalone Complex before going into this, it seems like the Major in this film is much more emotionally driven than how we see her in Standalone Complex.
I'd say so, yeah.
I mean, she had her moments of like emotional outbursts in Standalone Complex, but none that I feel like drove her actions kind of like how it did here.
Yeah.
Like, she seemed more stoic, more like fully in control.
Right. Yeah.
But this one, she has like many moments of self-doubt and kind of almost like in terms of existential crisis.
Yeah. Was this movie made before the show?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So the show Standalone Complex was produced in... The first season was produced in 2002, 2003, and the film was released in 1995.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
There's actually a sequel film to this film, but nobody really talks about it.
Really?
It's not good.
Oh, it's not?
That's all I can really say.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I was like, people don't talk about it. We should watch it.
If you want to watch it,
no.
I'll absolutely watch with you just to see.
No, you've put me off it.
Oh. This is why I don't like saying things like it's not good or whichever.
That's fine.
But so over the course of trying to retrieve the shell, because covertly, Section 6 has sent in undercover agents to retrieve the shell in order to get the Puppet Master back. Over the course of trying to get back the Puppet Master, the Major has to face down a frickin' tank.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
in a great ending sequence where the tank is shooting around in the insides of a seemingly abandoned church.
Yeah, seemed like that's what it was. Yeah.
Because it had like the mural of the Tree of Life in.
Yeah.
I don't know which religious culture that.
Norse? No. Was it Yggdrasil?
I think
Yggdrasil. Sounds like some sort of like rapper name.
Yeah, like the Yggdrasil tree.
Yggdrasil.
It reminded me.
Yggdrasil.
It reminded me. You remember in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, like the gate of truth, like the branches on it. It always reminds me of that.
I gotcha. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So.
The gate of truth, the tree of life, they must be connected.
Yeah, something along those lines. So, ultimately, the tank is subdued thanks to the timely arrival of Bato and his giant frickin' cannon. I had to stop by my hideout in order to get this. And before they're able to get away, the Major convinces Bato to let her dive into the Puppet Master's shell. And the Puppet Master reveals, I have been looking for you because I have stumbled upon you and you have these questions, these doubts. I want us to become one being.
And she's like, no way, right?
Not really.
Right?
Like she's
oh yeah, no, I know. Right, Donald?
No.
Right?
No.
Oh.
She's questioning why. Like, but over the course of this, they do end up becoming one being, and both the Puppet Master's body that it was occupying and most of Major Kusanagi's body was destroyed, but Bato was able to keep her head intact and basically transfer her.
It's all you need.
Transfer her into a different body with the same head, which is like the body of a child doll.
Yep.
Fun. And Lolita clothing. It was weird.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, that head should not be on that body. That is.
Lolita.
That's strange.
Or was it Annabelle?
It kind of did give an Annabelle kind of vibe.
Yeah, it did kind of, didn't it?
It's like that uncanny valley feeling.
Yep.
And the film ends
like
with
the boy.
And so the film ends with Kusanagi as this new kind of being that is infused with both like a human and a data being, going off on her own and seeing the new world with these new eyes, and it's like this new world of data, the net. Wonder what it will bring.
Yeah.
And the film ends off on that. It's not a long movie. It's only about like a little less than an hour 30.
Was it?
Yeah, it's a little less than an hour 30.
Oh.
And I've always loved this movie, just in terms of like visual striking and just thematic tones that it expresses. And I will say, for those of you listening, if you have a chance to like catch this movie in theaters, I highly recommend you check it out. Highly recommend you check it out. And that is basically the plot of Ghost in the Shell. So going from there, we can talk about some of the other aspects about this movie. So the characters. Now, I know you were very happy to see characters like Bato and Togasa. And,
I was, yes.
My favorite thing, if you actually go back onto the recording when the chief showed up, you're like, his hair is normal!
Oh, yeah! What's his name?
Atamaki.
Atamaki. Why did I think his name was Ishigawa?
No, Ishikawa's the data diver.
Okay.
He was there too.
Atamaki, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh! His hair is under control. It was a much funnier phrase in the commentary, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. So I will ask this: did you have more of a connection to these characters watching Standalone Complex prior to this? So you had like a little bit of an indication about who they were for the most part.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, I was familiar with them and everything, so that was no problem. I'd have to watch it again. See, I told you I don't have anything to say. You're like, you always find the words. I'm like, do I really? Do I?
You give yourself 2
Do I?
Yes, you do.
Do I?
Yes, you do.
For all you know, my character doesn't have a last name. I'm just crewman number 6.
Galaxy Quest.
We should talk about that sometime.
We got episodes ahead. We might as well do it.
Oh.
But for context's sake, there are a couple of characters in this movie that are not there are characters in Stanley Complex that are not in the original movie.
Yeah.
Mainly Saito, Pazu, and Boma.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
We did hear someone named Saito in the movie, but they're not actually shown.
Ah, gotcha.
So there's that. But yeah, we see like several influences of like how these characters would be in the standalone Complex series, how they are in that show. Part of them, like how they are here, like the brashness and direct demeanor of Bato. Tokusa's humanity and his penchant for his revolver pistol.
I remember one of my favorite parts of that where he was like, he was like, so I'm just a normal dude. Why did you guys hire me? And they're like, we like to have people from all sorts of different perspectives and backgrounds. And my comment was, so I'm a diversity hire.
That's why you made that joke.
Yeah, Tokusa's a diversity hire. Wasn't there somebody else who showed up who had a mullet and it was like, no, we cannot have another person with a mullet on our team. Get out of here.
I think we made that. Yeah, I think we did make that joke.
Like, nope, sorry. Can't do it. You have a mullet. We already have a guy with a mullet. Get out. What about another woman? Nope, we've already got a woman. Get out.
Damn.
I just you only need one to be diverse, she says bitterly.
I mean, to be fair, she is the boss. So, yes, girl boss. Whatever you say, please don't break my ankle again.
And they respect her too. So you know, she earned it.
She holds the title of major after all. So you know, so. Yeah, a lot of the characters kind of carry over into that. Unfortunately, we didn't have the chance to watch this movie in the English dub. We watched it in the original Japanese version, which is okay. But there are only 2 characters in the English dub of this movie that actually portray their characters like in Standalone Complex, and that is Chief Aramaki, who is played by was it William or Frederick Knight? It's William Frederick Knight specifically.
Okay. I was gonna say, I was like, I hope his name is Frederick.
And his and of course,
or was it Frodrick?
Frodrick. And of course Bato was voiced in English by one of my favorite English dub actors of all time, Mr. Richard Epcar. Uh-huh. And I take a lot of inspiration from him. He's great. And of course, in terms
who was doing the voice instead of Crispy Chicken, I might ask?
Oh yeah, that's right, because Crispin Freeman was the voice in Standalone Complex.
Yeah.
The actor's name is Christopher Joyce. Do not know who he is.
Crispy Joyce.
It doesn't have the same. It doesn't have the same spice to it as Crispy Chicken, does it?
Doesn't have the same spice.
It ain't got that. It ain't got that
Free
11.
crispy chicken.
It ain't got that same 11 herbs and spices.
Free crispy chicken, man.
For context for our viewers, Crispin Freeman, who is an English dub actor for AniMAY, voices the character of Tokusa in Standalone Complex. Some of you may know him for other English dub works such as Itachi Uchiha from Naruto, Kyon from Haruhi Suzumiya, and other such projects in both video games and anime. My good friend Baby Dove, shout out to you Dove, always made the joke that his nickname, she has dubbed him as Crispy Chicken.
Yep.
Because Crispin Freeman, when you say it really fast, sounds like Crispy Chicken.
Yep.
And the name just stuck.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Telling you.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna name my first son Crispian.
Mm-hmm.
For many reasons.
Oh yeah, he was also Father Kotomine from Fate Zero.
Kirei Kotomine?
Yeah, he was Hirei Kotomine from Fate Zero.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh wait, you have seen something that he was in.
I gotta watch that series again. Oh my gosh.
We need to watch the sequel series.
I know. Well, no, I did watch.
Did you watch Unlimited Blade Works?
I watched Unlimited Blade Works. Remember, I said what's the name of the the kid?
Shiro.
I think I sent you. I sent you like you and Andrew Kelly. Like I sent you a couple of messages, and one of them was. I think Shiro's goal in life is to be impaled by every single one of the champions in this thing. Because every other episode, we're like, oh, he's been impaled by another champion. Run through with a lance. Run through with a sword. You know?
Every freaking time.
Yeah, every freaking time. You're like, how are you still alive? I bled all that kind of blood away.
Well,
that was a giant like zig like segue of associations.
We'll get to Blade Works another time.
Unlimited Blade Works.
Love that. But so back onto Ghost in the Shell.
If we must, yeah.
We have to.
Yeah.
So out of that segue, we might as well just circle back into one of my favorite parts about this movie, and it is the animation. You guys can listen to it on the audio commentary, and Hannah's probably heard me say it ad nauseum. I love this movie's animation so much. This was still in the era of everything being mostly hand-drawn, and you can kind of see, especially during the at the end of like the first act when they're chasing that one guy all through the streets of the city. Like, you can kind of make out that it's like animation cells in the background.
Oh, very cool.
And of course, just like how fluid everything looked. Especially for like mid-90s animation, it was stellar.
When was Akira was made a lot.
Akira was made in the 1980s.
80s, okay, cool. Because that one also was hand-drawn or something. Mm-hmm. There was something like unique about the frame rate that people were like, this was groundbreaking.
Well, I mean, when you consider it, the animation used in films compared to like most animations used for television at the time, television used a lot of still shots. So most of the characters in the backgrounds would remain mostly still, with just the mouths moving, just to like reduce some. Just to save money on the budget for animation costs, and then if there was like a big action sequence, like in something like Dragon Ball, they would spend most of the money on that. Yeah. And usually in series like that, especially nowadays, it's more commonplace to like branch out to like other animation studios to help like do like certain sequences, especially for weekly episodic series. But
wasn't there there was like some post about, I think it might have been I can't remember if it was an episode of Steins Gate or somebody, where there's just like a random person in the back like yelling about something and there's nobody else around him. And people are like, what do you think that guy is so worked up about? He's like one of those Persona 5 like widget guys with his briefcase goes by, but he's like standing there like,
I feel like that's gonna be my role in life. I'm just gonna be like one of those people that's just in the background and just shouting out at the top of my lungs just like random things. It'll be like something from movies. I'd be like, Dryland is not a myth! I have seen it! Actually, we're talking about anime. I should have shouted the One Piece is real. That would have made a lot more sense.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it, Donald. Stupid.
Yeah. Well, you could do it now and then just, edit this.
Take 2. The One Piece is real! Can we get much higher?
Yes!
Anime memes.
We can get much higher. I haven't seen that, so I just...
No, I'm not going to get you into One Piece. That is a monstrosity of a hill.
Is it worth watching?
You want to go through 2+ decades of content? It's been going since the 90s, Hannah. Yeah.
Oh man, no thank you. There's a reason why it took me such a long time to start watching Supernatural, because at that point it had 12 seasons, and I was like, if I start watching this, I'm going to be binging this thing for 6 months, and I'm not going to get anything done.
You think binging shonen anime like My Hero Academia is something? Try doing that, like, literally binging all of My Hero Academia right now would be about the equivalent of, like, binging one of, like, the current arcs of One Piece that has been going for, like, 1+ years.
Holy crap. Oh my gosh.
It's rough.
All right. Well, now I feel like I just have to prove I can do it.
Please don't. You'll lose your sanity. But
you can't lose something that you lost long ago.
But anyway, back to like the animation thing. So when it comes to films, because it's not as you're not doing like an entire episodic series. Like you have a little bit more time to like know what pieces of the movie that you want to spend more of the animation on. And
right,
I have to say, from top to bottom, like I can't think of a single moment where they waste the animation budget. Like everything in the film just looks so good and just beautiful. Like this film is strikingly beautiful in a way that I really can't describe into words, especially being nearly 30 years old at this point.
Wow, yeah, actually.
And the animation is still looks that good. And keep in mind, this was also during a time where Dragon Ball Z, one of the most popular animes ever, was currently being broadcast.
Okay.
And you compare that level of animation to the animation in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you compare the animation to this movie to something like Cowboy Bebop.
Mm-hmm.
Because me and Hannah were rewatching Cowboy Bebop the other day because
I finished it the other day.
Like you compare.
I was like, I'll be fine. I was still wrecked.
Yeah, but I kind of compare it to that because the way that Bebop was like animated was it showed like it was animated almost on like a 90s movie budget.
Right. Yeah.
That's like the best way that I can kind of compare it. Mm-hmm. And it's just like absolutely striking. And of course we come down to elements that mix into it, and that is the sound design. We don't get as much big over-the-top musical pieces, kind of like how Standalone Complex is. A lot of it is much more quiet and atmospheric.
Yeah.
But it kind of gives off that like mysticism feel, you know?
Yeah.
Like if the Standalone Complex series deals a little bit more about like sci-fi theories and political allegories, this film I think deals a little bit more about like what the source material kind of represents in terms of like revolving around different themes of religious beliefs, sense of self, and of course like the future of technology and how that ties back into one complete theme.
Yeah. Yeah, like they put the Bible in there and stuff. They had the life tree. Yeah.
It's definitely a film that like rewards like multiple rewatches if you did miss something.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I find the DVD version that I have, I will absolutely lend it to you.
Cool.
So I guess overall, I mean, I've already given my 2 cents on why I love the movie, but if you want to take the floor a little bit and talk out like what you liked, what you didn't like.
It might just be because it was the might have just been because it was the sub that I was watching. So I was watching the movie, also reading, also doing a commentary on random shit that I saw or whatever. But I got a little bit lost, and I feel like doing a rewatch would behoove me. I also I I've also sort of found the other Ghost in the Shell things that we've watched kind of confusing as well. Like, I have trouble keeping up with it for some reason, which is weird because I find I feel like I am able to keep up with Steins Gate, which doesn't make any sense to me that one would not be this. I don't know. They're kind of similarly convoluted, I feel like.
I have a little bit of a theory on that. I have just a little bit of a theory on that.
I have a special mind.
No,
well,
not
I
that.
I do, but you know.
I think it just comes down to like how the writing and how the characters are in each of their respective shows.
Mm-hmm.
Steins Gate, although we have a lot of different established characters in both series, Steins Gate has a certain mix of both comedy and high concept science fiction that kind of delves into each other. So more things stick out for that. For Ghost in the Shell, unless you're someone like me who has seen this multiple different entries in this franchise constantly, the dialogue doesn't really stick out as much. Like, you remember specific moments and action pieces because Ghost in the Shell is much more action-oriented compared to something like Steins Gate.
I guess so, yeah.
So
I guess I'm a little bit more attracted to like this psychological aspect of things as opposed to the action aspect.
Yeah.
You know?
And also, I feel like most of the dialogue in Ghost in the Shell is very heavy on the in-world politics.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Which, unless you're into world building to like every single kind of minute detail, like I can be at times, it's not gonna hold your attention.
Right. Yeah.
Because I mean, I got used to it over time as like I started diving into more of the world. But when I was watching it for the first time growing up, watching the Stanley Complex series on Adult Swim on Cartoon Network, I didn't follow as much of the dialogue. So,
I see.
But after absorbing all that and watching the film for the first time a number of years back, I completely understood and I was just driven in by it.
Yeah.
So, do you think that things would stick a little bit more for you if we watched this in the English dub?
Possibly. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like if we did that, I would have a lot more intelligent stuff to say about it, honestly. I'm kind of like, here I am, just like the dumbass who didn't get it, you know? Like,
we might need to do...
The only thing I did get in this movie that you didn't was that bit that was from the Bible. And I was like, that's from the Bible. And you were like, it is? I'm like, yeah, totally.
Yeah,
it's 1 Corinthians chapter 13.
I feel like I questioned that at one point, but I didn't really follow up on it.
Yeah, it is. It's
but the fact that
that's what this is. This is my Bible.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, it's Corinthians. Because when I was a child, I used to talk like a child and think like a child and argue like a child. Oh man, I work in a kindergarten. I get that. To argue like a child, basically, this is what you do. Someone says, put that stick down, Timmy. But I want the stick. You may put the stick down. You are hitting other people with the stick, and that's not nice. But I want the stick. And you're like, you may put it down. That's how you argue like a child.
Fair enough.
But now I am a man. All childish ways are put behind me. I don't remember the context of that at all. Who said that? Who said that part?
The major talked
Major
about
said
it.
it, okay.
It was, I think it was when they were on. It was the boat scene.
That's right.
It was the boat scene in the harbor.
That's right. Yes.
That was actually a great scene.
That was, yeah.
Honestly, in terms of like the dialogue moments in the movie, I think that is probably like the standout moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was good.
So okay, so we got at least one thing out of that. I did want to talk about like that, and also like just the major rising up from the ocean, like when she's deep diving.
It was like mirrored the credit sequence at the beginning and everything.
Her reflection. So good. So great.
Yeah.
So this might actually have to be another. It's amazing. Both Ghost in the Shell moments. Like we have to do like a
follow up.
like a follow up recap.
A follow up because Hannah needs more time.
No, I do kind of like this. At least it's not like when we did Standalone Complex.
Mm-hmm.
Like you didn't finish the entire series.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like completely different. So like
yeah,
I feel like for this one like you just need to see it like in
Mm-hmm.
a format that is easier for you, and you can absorb more of it, and you'll be like, oh, this is what that meant. This is what that meant.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to hear a follow up on this about this this particular topic.
If you want to hear me speak coherently and intelligently on this topic, please let us know.
Yes, please absolutely let us know. Otherwise, again, I highly recommend checking out the original Ghost in the Shell if you guys can. We watched it on YouTube, but you guys can find it in other places streaming as well. If you guys want to hear our audio commentary watching along for it, you guys can check it out on the link of this particular episode over on our Patreon at patreon.com/generalgeekery. Again, you do have to be a patron of ours, at least at the lowest level, in order to be able to listen and view that kind of content. But we do appreciate your patronage if you do so.
Do we seem to be garnering a little bit more interest in that area now that we have actual content being put up on the Patreon?
Slowly but surely, we're getting there.
Cool.
Slowly but surely, we're getting there.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to have us do some more stuff like that, we would absolutely be up to doing so. There are some other projects that I have on the drawing table that we can hash out and figure some more stuff out.
I have an idea for something we could do right now, honestly.
We'll talk about it after.
No, let's talk shop on the podcast during an episode. Why not?
We'll talk after the recording.
Okay. So what I'm thinking we should do is
Tobiak!
oh my goodness. My last name, man.
Ay caramba.
I should kind of like being called by my last name.
Miss Kerbiak.
Not like that.
Kerbiak.
Yeah. There's a friend of mine. Actually, you know him, Kyle Connor. He calls me Scooby Doo.
Of course he would call you that. He would call you that.
He's like, oh, Scooby Dooby Doo. And I'm like, I'm over here.
That is such a Kyle thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I like it.
Also, Kyle, if you're listening to this, hello.
Hi.
Hope you're doing good.
Yeah.
But if you guys want to hear some more about that, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/generalgeekery. You guys can check us out on social media as well, on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm going to be getting some more stuff going up on there soon. I'm back in a creative mindset and mood, so I have time to actually get some things going.
Awesome.
And of course, if you guys want to check us out on all of our other endeavors of what we do, I'm streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/CoffeeNinjaRyu. Hannah and I are both part of the Loaded Dice Adventures cast at Loaded Dice Adventures on twitch.tv/Loaded Dice Adventures.
Yep.
And
we both play in the Wednesday Night Corsairs campaign.
We are both on the Wednesday Night Corsairs campaign. We're actually going to be back at it on Wednesday. So excited! We got the full crew back again. And
wait, even Brea?
I don't know about Brea, but it's because you were doing a show like
right, yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm super excited. And if you guys want to check that out, make sure to check us out on Wednesday evenings for all of that, between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And that's pretty much it for AniMAY 2023. As for what we're doing next time, we will let you guys know.
Who the hell knows?
Who the heck knows? We will let you guys know when we figure it out. And if you guys want to keep up to date on that, check us out on our social medias at Instagram and on Twitter. Or you guys can join our Discord as well, the link of which is in the description of this episode, to come join the General Geekery Guild.
Nothing has happened there in like a year.
Well, we're slowly but surely getting back into the creative.
I'm pretty sure that the last time anyone posted on there was me the first time I watched Steins Gate Zero, and I was freaking out.
That's gotcha. And in terms of like other stuff that we got going on, I'm hoping to get Inepticon back up and running sooner rather than later. So we got a whole summer ahead of us. So we're gonna figure some stuff out. And also Hannah has some other things going on IRL as well. She's directing. You're directing a show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I don't really think of that as being real life, though. You know.
Well, stuff going on in life.
In life.
Whether it be real life or life, whichever.
Or theater life.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to us ramble on, as always, on General Geekery. We appreciate it. This has been our discussion about the 1995 original Ghost in the Shell movie. Thank you guys for sticking with us for another month of anime craziness. This has always been like one of my favorite times of the year for the podcast.
Me too.
It's always been a fun tradition. Here's to next year. Can't wait for it. Until next time, guys, always remember to keep your geek on.
Always.
Clink, clink. So satisfying. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye. Actually get a cyber brain, but maybe like an arm or an eye, like one eye. So if my eyes get hacked, I'll still have my human eye and I can know it's real, you know, something like that.
Brilliant.
Yep. Just like half of my body would be cyberized, but my brain would all be in my brain.
Excellent.